Morning. Tomorrow is another Lord's Day. The doors at church will open at 9 o'clock, and I hope to see you there. Actually, they'll open at 8:30, and I hope to see you there. Have you ever been the one who carries all the load, who does all the work, and yet other people try to take credit for it, or at least share in the credit for the job that you've done? You ever felt like if it wasn't for you, that nothing would ever get done? Maybe that started as a kid. Maybe you were the sibling that did all of the work and your other two siblings seemed to just skate by and do nothing all the time. Maybe it's grown on you at work. You know, it's my experience that the person that performs, the person that is willing to step up and do the work, is usually the one that ends up carrying the load and more work gets given to them to do. And that can be a very frustrating situation. You know, at church, we have a hard time finding Sunday school teachers because people feel like, well, if I volunteer to teach a class, I'll be stuck there. I'll never get out of teaching that class because nobody else will step up to teach it. When I was at Christie Cookie, I worked a lot of food shows because our sales staff sometimes was stretched too thin to cover them all. I went to a food show in Arizona and met our broker at the airport, and we went to the food show and started working that. And at times it would get slow and boring and we would talk about other things. And I found out that he was an elder in his church, and I cannot remember the name of his church. But he told me that they had 10,000 members. I said, 10,000 members? How do you do that? He said, well, we have 7 different campuses that is spread across. I said, man, that's just awesome. He said, well, it's not that much different than your church. I said, really? What are you talking about? He said, well, I would bet that you only have about 10% of your members that do all of the work. I said, well, I'd like to hope it was a little more than that. He says, it's the same with us. He said, we have over 1,500 kids in our youth group, but we only have a handful of parents that come and work with the program. The rest of the parents just drop their kids off. You know, it's hard to find people that are willing to step up. If you are doing work now at your church, keep doing it. Don't give up. And if you're not, try and find something to do to help the church. I want to read Galatians chapter 6, beginning in verse 7. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. A man reaps what he sows. The one who sows to please his sinful nature, from that nature will reap destruction. The one who sows to please the Spirit, from the Spirit will reap eternal life. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially those who belong to the family of believers. Be safe. Stay well out there.